By the clear river where the sparkling water reflects the morning sunlight, lived a pair of cranes in peaceful harmony with nature. Together, they chose a tall, sturdy tree as the place to build their nest, a simple yet cozy home woven with love and hope. It was a place they believed would be safe enough to start a new chapter, building a family. After many days spent together, one beautiful morning, the female crane happily laid her first three eggs. This event filled them both with immense joy. They danced around the nest, singing cheerful songs as if to share their happiness with the world. From that moment on, the pair became hopeful and responsible parents. Each day, they took turns incubating the eggs, carefully tending to every twig and leaf around the nest to protect the precious future growing inside those shells. Their hearts were full of bright dreams of a happy family. They imagined little crane chicks flapping their wings by the riverside, chirping to call their parents, bringing complete happiness. Never before had the pair felt their hearts so full of love and faith. This was the beginning of a story both beautiful and challenging. One peaceful morning, like many before, the cranes decided to leave the nest together to find food. The river was calm that day, the water clear and full of fish. They quickly caught several fresh fish, their hearts joyful, eager to return to the nest with a full meal and continue caring for the precious three eggs. But upon returning, their hearts froze. The nest was empty. The three eggs were gone. No traces, no sounds, no clues left behind. Stunned, they looked at each other with blank eyes and desperately flew around searching. They called out, searched through every branch and leaf, but all was silent, eerily so. Their joy, hope, and love, all wrapped in those three eggs, had vanished without a trace. Grief-stricken and powerless, the pair could only stand silently before the empty nest, unable to understand what had happened or who had stolen their future. Eventually, they had to accept the bitter truth. The eggs were lost, and there was no way to get them back. In deep sorrow, they decided to leave the old nest behind and fly away, carrying their painful memories but hoping that elsewhere they could start anew. This time with caution and fragile hope that tragedy would not repeat. After the first loss, the cranes did not give up hope. They flew to a quieter area along the river and chose another tree, taller and bushier, to rebuild their nest. Each branch was woven carefully with new trust. Once again, the female laid eggs. These new eggs symbolized a second chance, a renewed dream of becoming parents. This time, they were more cautious. The male flew out to hunt while the female stayed to guard the nest. Day by day, everything seemed smooth, until one fateful morning, just as the male flew away, a snake quietly slithered out from the bushes. The female spotted it immediately and cried out, fluffing her feathers and spreading her wings wide to protect the eggs. But the snake was too fast and strong. It climbed up the nest, baring its fangs threateningly. The female fought, biting and kicking, but she wasn't strong enough to defeat the predator. Driven back, she painfully watched as the greedy snake swallowed each egg. When the male returned, the scene before him made him scream in despair. Once again, their hope was stolen, this time by a real flesh and blood enemy, the snake. The pain was deeper and more bitter, knowing exactly who the enemy was, but powerless to stop it. A big question grew in their hearts: how to protect what was most precious. The second loss left the male restless. Anger and helplessness surged inside him. He could not bear another loss. Seeing the deep sadness in the female's eyes, he knew he had to act. He had to find a way to protect their home. Unsure what to do, the male flew to an old friend, the crab, known for its calmness and wisdom. After hearing the story, the crab nodded thoughtfully. It did not immediately give advice, but pondered quietly for a while. Finally, with bright eyes, the crab leaned toward the male and whispered, "I have a plan, but you must be very careful and follow every step exactly." The male listened intently to every whispered word. When the plan was done, hope flickered in his eyes, a feeling almost lost before. He thanked the crab quickly and flew back to the nest, where the female was still sad and confused. "We won't let this happen again," the male said with determination. "We have a plan, and this time we will take control." The female listened, hopeful yet worried. "Are you sure?" she asked. "We can't afford mistakes." The male answered quietly but firmly, "We have to do something. If we don't act, we'll lose everything again." The next morning, the crab's plan was set in motion. The male woke early and flew straight to the riverbank. There, he began catching small, fresh fish, not to eat, but as part of the revenge plan. With each fish held in his beak, he flew from the riverbank toward the mongoose's den, dropping fish along the way to create a clear trail. The fish trail led straight to the base of the tree where their nest was, a sweet invitation for the mongoose, always attracted by the smell of fresh meat. After setting the bait trap, the male moved to the next step. He flew near the snake's lair, the enemy's hiding place. From above, the male loudly sang, pretending to be joyful, "We have eggs again! Our nest is full of new hope." The song was not just an announcement, but bait. The male knew the snake would hear, and if it wanted the eggs again, it wouldn't hesitate. Everything was carefully arranged. Every move was planned. Though still fearful, the male understood. If they did nothing, the snake would come back, and this time there would be no chance to save the eggs. The crane couple hid on high branches, anxiously waiting for what was about to happen. A battle between two predators, ignited by them to protect what was most sacred, their home. The smell of fresh fish filled the path leading to the base of the tree. Soon, from a nearby riverbank den, the mongoose caught the scent. With sharp hunting instincts, it quickly followed the trail. Each step brought it closer to the trap carefully laid by the male. Meanwhile, from another direction, the snake began to slither out, provoked by the male's boastful song about new eggs. Fate brought the two predators face to face, right under the tree where the crane nest sat. When the mongoose saw the snake climbing the tree, it charged without hesitation. In the natural world, mongoose and snakes are mortal enemies, both skilled fighters with fierce survival instincts. Immediately, the battle erupted. The snake slithered fast, baring its venomous fangs, trying to coil around its foe. The mongoose dodged agilely, counterattacking with precise and daring bites. Growls and hisses echoed through the forest. From above, the cranes watched with tense hearts, hope and fear intertwined. Finally, after a fierce struggle, the mongoose landed a fatal blow. The snake collapsed, limp, life leaving its cold eyes. The battle was over. The crane's most dangerous enemy, the one who had twice stolen their future, was finally defeated. From above, the cranes breathed a sigh of relief. But little did they know, a greater danger was silently approaching. After the fierce battle, the cranes thought the biggest threat was gone forever. The snake, the enemy that had twice stolen their eggs, was now only a memory. Hope stirred within them. For the first time after so much pain, they dared to believe the little eggs in the nest would be safe and could hatch into chicks flying in the sky. But this peace lasted only until the next morning. Before the sun rose high, the cranes left the nest to hunt, believing the danger had passed. Yet while they were gone, another silent and greedy enemy returned, the mongoose that had killed the snake the day before. Initially, it came for the fish, but upon discovering the nest with delicious eggs within reach, its hunting instinct awakened. Without hesitation, it climbed the nest and devoured every egg, the very eggs the cranes had worked so hard to protect. When the cranes returned, the sight shattered their hearts. Once again, the nest was empty, but this time the pain was deeper, because their plan had brought the new predator closer. The hero they had trusted had become a threat even worse than the snake. They stood silently, with no tears left to cry. The lesson was bitter. Sometimes the solution that seems smart brings consequences worse than the original problem. The crane's story is not just a tragedy in the natural world. It is a profound metaphor for human life. In despair over lost eggs, the cranes sought a seemingly clever solution, using one predator to eliminate another. But they never imagined that the hero they borrowed hands from would become a threat even more dangerous. In life, we often face similar situations. When in trouble, people tend to seek quick, easy fixes, borrowing money at high interest, taking shortcuts, or relying on someone just because they appear at the right moment. But rushed decisions can lead to consequences far worse than the original problem. The message is clear. Stay calm. When facing difficulties, don't let emotions rule. Stop, think carefully, evaluate options, and consider long-term consequences. Like the cranes, if we fail to foresee outcomes, our own plans might cause a new tragedy. Life is full of challenges, but what matters is not quick reactions, but right reactions. Wise actions come from calmness, patience, and deep insight. Don't let a temporary solution become a lifelong burden. Thank you for following the story to the end. We hope this tale of the cranes, with its losses, choices, and valuable lessons, has given you a deeper perspective on life and how to face challenges. If you found this story meaningful, please take a moment to like the video, leave positive comments, and subscribe to the channel. These small acts are great motivation for us to continue sharing more inspiring stories. Every story we share is not just a tale, but a message about patience, making the right choices, and faith in positive values. We believe that amid daily worries, a simple story can awaken something good in everyone's heart. By subscribing, you become not only a listener, but part of a journey spreading inspiration and kindness. Don't miss the upcoming stories, because perhaps the next one is exactly what you need. You are watching the video on YouTube Tales Unfold.